Like they would actually fight
I
down a
guess.
mammoth.
Neanderthals are bigger than us, right?
Yeah, they had more muscle fibers than us.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
just massive.
Yeah, they had. Yeah,
They're a little monkier than we are.
They're basically orcs. They're basically like the effectively just the orc version of humans,
yeah.
right?
Like if you took human and made them ×2,
Okay.
you'd get a Neanderthal.
Is it like...
I don't know if they're quite that superior, physically speaking.
Were they like...
obviously they were
well,
inferior, like, you know.
What do either of us know about the strengths
Yeah.
of a Neanderthal?
All I know is that they they like modeled out like their vocal cords and stuff. And turns out that they had like
I remember this.
ridiculously dumb fucking high pitched voices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're
Oh
like...
yeah, they're like
Yeah, they just sounded like idiots. It sounded like happier with your mouth open.
yeah. Or real deep cut that stupid fucking monster in South Park. What was it called? Shit. It was in like the first season. It came out of the lake.
Man, bear, pig.
No.
That's like
Man,
season
baby.
9.
All it would do is go like
The Jackophsaurs.
the Jagovosaur.
The Jackophsaurs.
Yeah,
yes.
the Jagovosaur.
It's like,
Yeah, and then they finally found a male version of it too, and then they bred, and then they had a bunch of stupidly annoying babies.
Why is that a thing in my mind where I was
core
able
memory.
to... Yeah, I was able to recall that. I was like, oh, the Jackophsaurs.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was.
I can't remember how many nail bombs I made as a child, but the Jackophsaurs, yeah, I got that. That's right up here, dude. That's right up here. Welcome to the AnythingCast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Eric.
I'm Will, and I have a table thought.
What's that?
Oh.
So, I need Eric. I need you to put on your judging robe today. Thank you.
Okay.
The Michigan shooter. I don't know if you saw that in the news. Happened a while back. Pretty famous school shooting. The mom.
We already talked about this.
Damn it! Did we really?
It was on
We
the
did,
last
yeah.
episode.
God damn it! Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
I didn't
Yes,
mark it
We
off.
discussed this.
Yeah, you keep doing that. Why do you keep doing that?
I don't
Mark it
know.
off. Do it now. Do it now. Next topic. Get it out of here.
Yeah,
Get it out of here.
What is
It's
it?
okay to make the mom a state slave now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was-
We
that was-
established that.
That was in the episode that came out today. That was in Judge Eric.
Was it really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Judge Eric.
No, cut this out, future. Patrick.
Eric,
No. It's fine.
Cut
Your
this out.
failure is
Cut
going to
this
be
out.
put out amongst everyone.
It can
Yeah.
stay
Everyone
for
will
the
see it.
Patrons,
Yeah.
but cut this out. Did we talk about Microsoft's gaming division?
No,
Microsoft's gaming mission.
Their
What?
gay, their gay emission. What did you say?
No, their gaming division.
Gaming division.
Yeah.
That's a lot less
Microsoft
interesting than their
gaming
gay
division.
emission, if you ask
I-
me. But
Wish they had a gay emission.
me
but
too.
I
Mhm.
Or just a
haven't-
gay mission.
I haven't heard any news
No,
about
that's
anything
Disney.
like that.
That's
Yeah,
Disney.
Disney has the gay mission. I
It was
know.
Bob Iger
Did
got
we- did we
caught
talk
saying
about
that he was being
Microsoft
political.
Giving up basically any exclusives for the
Exclusives?
Xbox. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
In what
That's weird.
manner?
They're just not going to do them anymore.
Really? Did you see Sony also said that they were like, yeah, the consoles are stupid.
Really.
Yeah. That was like last
Wow.
week or something. Sony was like,
So the console war outside of hardware is over
pretty
now?
much, yeah. They were like, the guy in charge of Sony, the president of Sony, said something like, I don't remember, don't quote me on this, but it was like, yeah, PCs are getting so like strong now. It's kind of dumb to keep making
And
PlayStations.
they're so cheap,
Yeah.
basically.
So I think consoles might be over, dude. I think this might, I mean, we might get one more generation of consoles.
The only thing I can
Hmm.
see like sticking around for consoles is like if Nintendo continues down the portability
Of course,
route.
yeah. Absolutely. If they do the Switch 2, I could see the Switch 2 coming out.
And like the Steam Deck is pretty
But
good.
the PS7, like really?
I don't know.
Do you want a PlayStation 7?
I mean, I mean, you know what? You know what my old ass really wants?
A GameCube.
I want something that has you're on the right track. I want something that just plays all the fucking games. Give me that.
You want the
finally.
Ventrilo of consoles, basically?
I do. I want
Yeah,
we're
it's
there.
called, it's called a personal computer.
Yeah, PC with emulators. You want a PC with emulators?
No, but I want a box that I can put the discs in. Like, that I can take all of my old discs.
You want physical media.
And then I want something that can play my physical media. If it also downloads games too, that's fine. And I get that my PC can do that, but like I want something tailor-made for that.
That's not true, as a matter of fact. Your PC can't do that in regards to like the original Xbox. You can't.
Yeah,
you can't
it's
play
super
original
limited.
Yeah,
and like, there's no reason why it should be. We have the hardware and the software to make this fucking magic happen.
The Xbox emulation just had a breakthrough like 3 months ago or something to where you can now finally emulate most Xbox games. But until then, it was because the Xbox was programmed the way that it was. It would swap between graphics processor and CPU seemingly at random, based completely on how the Xbox was programmed to be able to do stuff that the Xbox shouldn't be able to do. That was their way of getting around it.
It ran like shit.
Yeah, of course. It ran like dog shit.
Those load times were atrocious, but those games were pretty fun.
Of course, yeah. That's how they got Halo working.
Yeah, goddamn Halo's load times when on the original Xbox.
My God, dude.
Atrocious.
It'd just be like, He'd be like, I'm going to go make a sandwich. Maybe put some mayonnaise on it. I should have got a drink. Yeah. Oh my God.
Fuck. Like mayonnaise all over your hands. Fuck, the controller, slippery.
Fucking silent cartographer.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to continue making the Xbox?
Do you think they're going to continue making any of them?
I don't know about I haven't heard the PlayStation thing, so if he did say that, then it makes sense.
Like, really, if there's no competition, it's the same thing of like, it's the same thing as war. It's the same thing as like war, where it's like, okay, there's not.
You're really discounting Nintendo. Do you just not consider them any competition?
No, I mean, if there's not competition between the two parties, if there's not competition between Sony and Microsoft, then I don't, because they're the ones fighting each other. Nintendo has always been content to be like a whole generation behind.
Yeah, Nintendo's Venn diagram of business does encapsulate like the Xbox, PlayStation, PC crowd, but most of it is
they're an
independent. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Like they can survive without like that whole thing over there.
We talked about this not long ago, where like I told you about how shitty, what was it, the Wii or something? I explained to you like, here's how good the PlayStation was at the time, and here's like what the Wii was, and you were like, really? It's that dog shit. And I was like, yes, Nintendo is like easy, a whole console generation behind, and they don't mind because they focus more on like a gimmick every time.
And part of that, I imagine, part of the strength of doing it that way is you get to work with tried and true technology, so you can try and flip it as hard as you can.
Like, you get to see what worked for the other people and what didn't.
Right.
And then
it's already been stress tested to a certain degree.
Pretty much.
You get to see where its limits are. And you're just like, okay, well, I can do this. And then Nintendo's like main scheme ever since they stopped competing with Sega has been be the more creative, not the most powerful.
Well, then they did motion controls though, and then their motion controls were dog shit. And then for once in the entire console wars, Sony came out with a better piece of hardware for something than Nintendo did. And I was like, damn, look at that. Nintendo invented something and then Sony fucking fixed it. It's usually the other way around, in my opinion. But the Steam Deck has basically made consoles just not viable, I think. I think that's what it's coming down to. You said that there's not going to be any exclusives, but do you mean that like, they're still going to develop games, but they're going to put it on...
Yeah, like they still own Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard... So they're just gonna put it. I mean,
they're gonna put it on the Switch.
As far as releasing and PlayStation, as far as releasing and Xbox, as far as long as they make them, it's just like it's gonna be on everything. As many platforms as they can put them on.
My biggest thing about trying to switch over to more PC gaming, and for like the whole atmosphere to switch over to being like that, is am I still gonna have that fucking bullshit problem to where when I'm trying to play either like brand new games or games that are like older than 5 years old, then like I suddenly run into this like random problem that my machine just can't play it for whatever reason. And you gotta Google like 3 or 4 different things and go in, change a line of code and like all that kind of shit to make the start option work or something like that.
Yes.
See, like, and people are just like, oh, why are you being so lazy? You could just Google it and you can fix this problem. Okay, one, I do that, and sometimes you have to Google like 4 different things to fix the fucking problem. And 2,
Tell me it's not so.
If it's that fucking simple, then why can't the fucking company that distributes it just go in there and fucking program out these fucking obvious ass flaws?
That I agree. Unless it's like a super old game, then I can understand why they wouldn't go back.
I mean, sure, like,
I get why Nintendo wouldn't go back to Smash, original and just fix it or whatever.
The main reason is because the computers are modular, and as computers have become less modular over time, like they're still modular to a degree, but back in like the 90s, computers were modular to an insane degree.
Right.
And now that they're becoming less modular, it's becoming less of a problem. But because computers are modular, you can have a motherboard or have a graphics card, and then the company will be like, yeah, we didn't even think about people having that when we made the game, and we're super sorry. But
see, and that's what I hate about PC gaming, though, is like when I buy a PlayStation 2, every single game that says PlayStation 2 plays on the fucking PlayStation 2.
It does, with no issue. Well,
Yeah.
I guess unless it's PAL, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's different, though. That's you basically bought the wrong PS2, but then nothing works on it.
I haven't
if you
run
don't have
into
the
an
PAL
issue
games.
like that on Steam. Like,
Fuck, I
in
have all the
forever.
time.
I haven't run into it in forever. It's been like 5 years, maybe something like that, where I haven't run into an issue. Then again, you use like really older hardware.
I use somewhat older hardware, and I also, have very low budgets a lot of the time. So I try and I'll scroll through and be like, oh, this game from like 8 years ago is only like $2 or something like that. Like, I'll go ahead and download that, and I can have lots of fun on it. And that's just like, nope, even though we were offering it, we don't actually know how to make it work on a computer.
Well, you also are playing on a laptop, right?
Yes, a lot of the time I'm playing on
I think that's going to be a lot of the issue, is you're going to be like limited RAM and shit, where it's like, okay, we didn't really mean...
cost,
but then
once again,
that's why
plays into it, because like the PS5 had to have cost us, what, like $600 when we got it or
right?
something?
It's like 800.
800.
Yeah, that's the same amount my fucking
Well, that was
laptop
the original
costs.
price, right? It's got to be down by now.
I think
it is
by the time
600
we
now.
got it, I think it was 600, and we got the one with the disc tray.
Did you?
And my laptop was 800.
You paid $800 for a laptop?
I did.
Is it good? How good is it?
Yeah, how good of a laptop is it?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty... I mean, I paid $107 for a laptop this weekend.
Wow.
And
Is it a netbook or something?
No, it's a
Little
gateway.
Chromebook?
It's a little gateway, like, shitty thing from the pawn shop. But I mean, like, it would play like basic ass shit. But like, if I was paying $800 for a laptop, I would probably buy like a PC for $800 and then like be like, okay, I can improve this later going forward. I don't know. I'd have to look into pricing. I haven't priced a PC in like
800.
that's the
4 or
trick.
5 years.
800 is a little rougher.
It's hard.
That's the
for
trick.
Sure.
Like, I just want to buy a single unit that plays all the games. Like, and PC is so nebulous with that. Like, there's no clear time when the generations shift. Like, there just might be a point where games start getting released that can't work on your computer anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah, your processor is too old, and then they don't program for that processor anymore.
But that's
And then
the
your
that's what the emulator's for.
They generally have to
Yes.
reprogram the whole software for it.
Yeah,
But I need the
sure.
fucking emulators to be more fucking accessible. Like, why
You
not?
want all the SNES games ever made? Because I can give you
Blame-
all the SNES games ever made.
Blame companies for being greedy. I don't know
Ooh,
what to
blame
tell you.
That's what
Nintendo
I'm
for
saying.
not fucking releasing their
Yeah,
games.
for
Just
real.
like-
blame companies for being
What
greedy.
they need is they just need to like go ahead and like charge like pennies on the dollar for fucking like royalties on this like dirt ass old shit that they're never going to do anything with. And it's just like, yeah, sure, some people pirate them anyway.
Release Bubs the cat.
Bubsy. The
Bubsy.
cat. Bubs the cat. That was like a mix between Bubsy and Blinks the time cat. I don't know where your brain was going.
I think you actually get a lot of those on Steam.
But do you know that Bubsy got a new release recently because they didn't want to lose the fucking trademark? They didn't want to. They want to lose the copyright.
I thought it was because they were trying to capitalize on all the popular internet hate.
It was because they fucking were gonna lose the copyright on Bubsy if they didn't make a fucking product.
God knows you gotta hold on to the fucking Bubsy
God,
copyright.
I know, right? That's all I can imagine if their market strategy was instead.
Do you not
how
know
about
Bubsy?
you just? He knows what Bubsy is.
Yeah, I've seen
okay.
Angry Video Game Nerd.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I mean, imagine if their market strategy was instead, how about we just rent out the Bubsy license and let people make good games with the Bubsy license for cheap as shit.
I heard that the newest one actually was not bad.
It was 6 levels long.
Like, it wasn't like...
I mean,
it was 30 minutes long.
I think
Bubsy
that it
doesn't
was,
need to outstay his welcome.
Yeah, I think that it was like literally just like a proof of concept that like this game could be made and could be made to look and feel like a competent platformer.
Yeah, they gave it to some other company or something. They were just like, yeah, make us a Bubsy game. They gave it to like some Korean company where like, make us a Bubsy game. And then they made them a Bubsy game and it's like 30 minutes long, 6 levels.
Hey, you can actually even like
keep their copyright.
Turn his sass up and down.
Yes, you
like
can.
There's a sass slider to where you can have him keep his fucking mouth shut all the way up to like, I think it maximum level is just Bubsy.
Yes. Yes.
Speaking of like companies being hired to do things, how about that new Ubisoft game?
I thought you were going to talk about Blackwater, but okay, yeah, Ubisoft.
Yeah,
what new Ubisoft thing?
Skull
Assassin's
and
Creed
Bone.
Black Flag.
No.
No.
Even worse.
No. It's Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
No,
Yeah. I've seen this before.
Black Flag lets you actually board other ships.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about
So
this
you're
again?
saying that there was a much more advanced game that literally had better graphics and your clothes could get wet when you walked in the water, and it had all the ship mechanics, and you could board the ships,
And it had a better story,
and it had a better
cast,
story, characters,
voice
cast,
acting.
voice
Well,
acting.
how many topics are you going to use that we used last episode?
and this
Because
came
we
out-
talked
We
about
didn't
this
call-
and we said it was quadruple
Yes,
A.
it's
Yeah,
quadruple
but
A,
we
but
didn't mention-
I didn't know anything about it back then, though.
now we know more about it.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Dude, it's Assassin's Creed Black Flag, except just the boating segments and not as good. And they're willing to charge $70 for 1/4 of a game that was released in a better state 11 years ago.
Is it World of Warships?
No.
Is it basically,
It's-
is it
it's-
play
it's-
like World of Warships?
It's a little bit more similar to World of Warships in its structure.
Oh yeah, it's like ship combat.
Yeah, because ship combat's really the only thing you're supposed to do.
Where
pirates.
But like in Black Flag, you could like go on any island. Like you could walk on any island. In this game, you have to go to designated like places to land.
Oh, when you loot them, there's just like a menu box that comes up that you select the loot
In
from.
Black Flag, you can like find whales out in the ocean or like sharks, and you can go harpoon them. And,
That's
like,
pretty fucking it.
Yeah, you can do a harpoon. I don't think that's in this game at all.
Black Flag seems like the only good Assassin's Creed game except for the first one.
in-
Or maybe the second one too.
In Black Flag, you can board other ships and like take their pirate crews out and like take their ship and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like
And
Sea of
make them
Thieves, Will?
surrender.
Yeah.
Did you like Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, I'd probably give it like
A fine.
it's a fine. It's
Yeah.
a 6.
It's it's charming. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I can't give it a 7. I can't just say it's good.
No.
If you absolutely cream your jeans over some pirates.
Yeah, if pirates is your autism,
Like,
then
you'll love it.
You'll
and
love
you,
it.
yeah, and you have low standards for video games, then
you'll like it a
can get-
lot.
It was such
You
a
can get a
I did
solid
not
7
expect
out
Like
of
it.
it.
it's good for a few hours if you just have
Mhm.
if you have a group of friends,
Yeah, if you have
who
friends.
are dedicated to it. But I
Yeah.
mean,
The ship sailing.
But I can't give it points for that. Kicking a rock with friends is good for a
Right.
time.
Yeah, I loved the
Mhm.
sailing aspect. The fucking steering the ship felt so real.
Yeah.
Like turning the sails to pick up wind to turn quicker and shit.
Sitting at
And,
a
like, the
table and
ship
just
combat
talking with two fucking complete degenerate retards
yeah.
can, be entertaining for at least a couple hours every week.
Listening to three degenerate retards in Mississippi can, for about an hour, can be at least entertaining for a little bit. I hope so.
It'll be enlightening, I think.
If you live in Brazil, that is. I mean, if you live in like a third world shithole like Brazil, then listening
don't call people's homes a shithole. That's not nice.
But buenos noches, Brazil.
They don't speak Spanish.
It's Portuguese.
They speak Portuguese.
That's all the same. It's all the same.
They're all brown. It doesn't matter.
Mongrel languages.
Do you think Portuguese and
Which are
Spanish
all
sound
European
similar?
languages.
They sound very similar. I mean, they're on the same continent.
They sound similar,
Well,
but
you
you
are
will,
the same nation.
France is on the same continent
you
too.
will be
That's true.
You will be insulting a native speaker of one or the other if you accuse them of speaking.
Of course, but
the
I'm just
opposite.
I'm asking like I'm asking third-party Europeans who are not Portuguese or Spanish if you just happen to be watching
Portuguese
this.
just sounds like Spanish if you have Down syndrome. It just sounds like a Down
you've
syndrome guy
chosen-
speaking
Patrick
Spanish.
is no longer trying
chosen to
to befriend
insult the Portuguese, I
Portugal
see.
or the Brazilians. Yep. Why are you tugging on my hair over there?
all of
I don't know.
all of my
tell
favorite
me
listeners
something
are Brazilian, so I can just say these things.
Oh, that guy's Brazilian?
Yeah, that one guy.
I hope it's the keep it up guy.
Yeah. He's the keep it up guy. I have no idea where he's
Oh
from.
shit! Hold on. What time are we at?
Will's like, wait, we didn't record.
Oh, okay. No, we're good. There's one thing we had to get in one of these two episodes.
What's that?
who our favorite Ninja Turtle was?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was our favorite Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my Donatello. I
It
like the
should
one with the
still
stick.
be the same
look
from
at
when he
you.
asked earlier.
Look at you being consistent.
I like the guy with the stick. That's it. I don't know. I
He
don't
likes
know
a
the
man
Ninja
with
Turtles.
a big long pole and a big fat brain.
My experience with Ninja Turtles is playing the NES game. All right, that is my experience with Ninja Turtles. That's
All right.
all
That's
I know.
That is sad.
I loved it
That's
as a
sad.
child, though. I was so into
All
it.
right. Well, let's ignore him, I guess.
Did you guys watch Ninja Turtles?
I've watched
Yes.
it. I've read the comics.
I've never even seen the movie.
I played with the action figures. My uncle loved Ninja Turtles, so I was
Did he?
exposed to a lot of the media.
My parents thought they were satanic, so I just
Yep.
didn't get to get
How
into
could
them.
they? How could they be say they're one? They're turtles on a half shell. Two, they were made by chemical goo, which we established.
Which my parents were convinced was Russian, and my dad was not having any of that commie
Russians
Russian
didn't
stuff.
believe in
devil.
Satan.
I-
They were
I said that those
famously-
Just because they
chemicals-
don't believe in Satan doesn't mean they're not his soldiers.
The chemical goo, was communist chemical goo. It was Russian drained
I would look at my
goo.
mom in the eye and be like,
Because everyone knows
"Don't
Russia,
worry, Mom. The armor of God protects me."
Yeah, Russia's radioactive waste is exclusively dumped in the U.S., as we all know.
In
It would
Manhattan.
never be our nuclear
Manhattan.
dumping in the Manhattan sewers.
Anyways, what's your favorite Ninja Turtle, Eric?
Raphael's the worst one, right? He's just
Well-
the one with the red,
Fuck you.
Yeah, he's
the red guy
one.
with the little daggers. I mean, that guy's he's just
No,
a
that's-
cunt. His
that's-
character is he's a cunt.
Is
And-
Raphael the mean one with the size?
He's the grumpy one, yeah.
Yeah, his character
Yeah.
is he's a cunt and he has a boring weapon.
It's a lot of everybody's favorite one.
That is a
'Cause-
lot of people's favorite one.
Really?
Nah, but
Though everyone's
to be
like, he gets a
fair-
lot. No, I think you're being unfair because I think he gets a lot of character moments since he's the dramatic one.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like in the first movie, especially.
Yeah. I think he causes
But,
a lot of drama, so he gets a lot of character moments, causing him to be
Like if you were to give them all a percentage,
the
like
most favorite.
You guys have seen the Ninja Turtles movie, right?
several times.
I've never
Which
seen
one?
It's
There's
very
there's
good.
a
The first
lot.
one.
No, there's a lot.
First one is good.
I've never seen it.
The second and third ones are a little weirder.
I like when they go back in time to like feudal Japan.
I wish I could get. I wish Will had never seen it, so I could ask him what the plot of the Ninja Turtles movie is.
Of the first one?
Yeah.
Oh no, dude, I remember the shit out of that.
Yeah, I
like,
could tell you
check
that like
this out.
beat for beat.
It starts off in New York where there's a pizza guy. He goes he's delivering a cheese pizza, and he gets freaked out. And they give him like money out of the sewer, but he doesn't even take it because he's freaked out. They're Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Now remember,
and-
he did take it, but they didn't give him a tip. And they said, 10 minutes or less, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm not dealing with fucking New
You know how
Yorkers
you
anymore.
don't remember movies?
Yeah.
We should just start. You guys should start asking me like important historical facts. You guys love history, and I have no idea what anything about history. You should be like, "What's the Treaty of Versailles? Versace? What's the Treaty of Versailles?" We should do a whole bit out of that.
What is the Treaty of Versailles?
Is it?
Do you remember why there was a treaty in Versailles?
Is it the World War II? Was it the World War II, or is it the World War I? Versailles was a place in Italy, and they had a treaty. A treaty implies that there was something bad going on, and then two groups had to come to an agreement and make a treaty. So I'm assuming it was a war.
I've got an easy one for you.
Okay.
Can you tell me how about the only time a cavalry defeated a navy? And I'll make it even easier. Can you tell me the story of which cavalry defeated the Spanish Navy?
No. Was it the Muslims fighting from the south and then defeating the maybe in
yeah, go ahead.
In South Spain where there used to be Muslims, maybe the Navy tried to come down to the south and then flank them.
Reconquista?
No, like before that or something. Wasn't that before? Wasn't that before the Reconquista? I don't know. I wasn't it before then?
I'm gonna try and feed him some weeb shit and see if that helps.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So during the Sengoku Jidai, there were 3 warlords, 2 of which were known to be great rivals.
Okay.
One of them got cut off from the ocean by the 3rd rival warlord, and his people had no access to salt whatsoever. So his rival sent a massive caravan of salt over to his rival with the note that said, what?
Any of this have to do with anything?
You said he was cut off from the ocean?
You want me to tell you the names of the 2?
I'm sure it's like Oda and somebody, right?
Negative.
Okay.
No, this would be Takeda Shingen and Uesugi Kenshin in their famous rivalry. There was a point where the Hojo cut the Takeda
Did he tell him the ocean's full of salt? You can just go get your salt from the ocean?
No.
Editor Patrick, I need you to stack the screen. We are deflecting so hard because, motherfucker, you have not answered for the audience who your goddamn favorite Ninja Turtle was.
Well, I fight with swords and not salt, and my favorite Ninja Turtle was Michelangelo.
Which one was that?
The nunchucks.
The orange one.
The orange one with the nunchucks who had a good attitude that everyone actually liked.
Okay.
I
forgot he existed.
Besides, I think he's like the 3rd favorite, if I had to guess.
Yeah, you think the nerd and leader, the top 2?
I think that the nerd is like the least favorite.
You think Donatello?
I think Donatello is like the least favorite. If you had to pull up a chart of like who's the favorite,
yeah.
I think if I had to chart it like of like the world population of who enjoys Ninja Turtles, it goes Raphael, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello.
Probably. I can believe that.
I would say I like Leonardo a lot better now. He's more, well-rounded, and I like his personality more. As a kid, I liked Raphael more.
So wait, you like Donatello?
No, Leonardo.
Leonardo? Which one's Leonardo?
The blue leader one with the
guy
2
with
swords.
the katanas?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's all I know about them, and I forgot his even existed. I couldn't think of him.
Yeah.
I was trying to I remember there's a guy with daggers. I remember there's a guy with a stick. I remember there's a guy with a sword. I remember there's one more, but
Who's
I don't remember anything
your
about him.
favorite Ninja Turtle villain?
Krang.
Ooh. How do you not know them, but you know Craig?
Because Krang had a funny voice.
Krang!
Yeah, he sounded like that. Weird. He sounded like he was a brain in a chest. It was hard for me to forget that as a child.
Yeah,
I saw that once, and that stuck in my brain. But I couldn't tell you what the Treaty of Versailles or what fucking Nobunaga Oda said to some other fucking faggot in Japan.
Okay. What island in Japan did the Portuguese land on when they first introduced guns?
Osaka?
No.
Okay. That's the only one
That's
I
it?
know.
You're not going to try any harder than that?
I think that's the only one I know. I think that's the only one I know. I'm
You've
pretty
played
sure.
enough video games to where this should have come up before because the name for gun was derived from the island of Tanegashima.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
But no, I think the only island I know in Japan is Okinawa.
Do you know
because
the
my dad was
Japanese word
stationed
for
there.
gun?
Okinawa is
Tanegashima.
like barely... Tanegashima.
Yeah, I got that from the context clues.
Tanegashima is the name for gun in the island.
Eric.
But no, I don't know
Portuguese
anything
landed
about
on.
history, either Jap history or normal
I
history.
thought maybe weeaboo history would be easier for you.
I could tell you Oda was a guy who was known for guns. I
Eric.
could tell you that.
How short
Okay.
can a skirt get before it's sexual?
Above the knee.
If you're perverted enough, fucker can be touching the floor.
That's true.
All right, I guess
So-
that's fair.
I'm kind of a fan of flipping up a skirt.
Okay,
myself.
for you, how high before it becomes sexual? Like, or I
no,
guess
you misunderstood that.
What's
That was
the-
I was the example I was giving a second ago. Is a skirt is sexual? Like I
Well,
find
kimonos
skirts-
count as a
At
skirt?
that point, it's a dress, Eric. If it's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to,
if it's touching the floor, that's a
touching the
dress. That's
floor,
not-
it's a dress.
It's not a skirt.
Look, man, if you loosely wrap it, I'm interested in seeing what's going on.
You loosely wrap it.
She's not a meal, Eric.
It's like a Subway sandwich.
You were
Just like
asking
halfway
me
open.
to judge it like a piece of meat. I'm
Yeah.
telling you what my opinion is.
It's like a McDonald's
At
burger
what point
wrapped in
is
loosely.
something-
He's interested,
At
man.
what point is something sexual? It's like saying, at what point would you have to reach out and take a bite of that cheeseburger? Like, that's like
God.
what you're asking me. Is it not? Are you not asking me, is your
Okay,
mouth
at
watering?
what point is it not tasteful?
Oh. If during casually walking you can see ass cheeks, or if you're
Ooh.
at anything
That's really
like
high.
any kind of like formal event, like short skirts. Like if you're at a formal event, I would keep a short skirt to like no more than about an inch or so above the knee. Just because any more than that, it's like, fuck, bitch, you going to the club after this? I mean, like, you're allowed to dress however you want, but there's just like, you show off your ass cheeks at the club, and like, you show off your nice threads at the opera. There's just different things that you do with different areas.
Do you know how those
You
skirts
could
work
wear
in
like
Japan?
a plunging dress and like show off some sweet titty, but you got to know how to like flaunt the right thing in the right
You say a
environment.
plunging dress?
Yeah,
Eric just
plunging
casually
neckline.
victim
Oh, like
blaming.
in my head, I was like, what does this have to do with plumbers?
Oh, it's nothing. I was making a dumb joke of Eric just casually victim blaming.
Victim blaming.
Yeah, the famous thing is like, look, she deserved it. Didn't you
Look
see
she
what
was
she?
wearing.
That was
Yeah,
not
look
the
at what she was
context
wearing.
of what you said. You said, when did she look hot? At
No,
first.
no,
And then
no.
I was just like, skirts are hot in general. And you were just like, God damn it.
I know
It's
it
like,
was in the
when
context.
is it inappropriately
When
hot? I was just
watching
like,
movie,
well, I
you
guess if she's
complete,
walking around, you can see her ass cheeks.
I know that wasn't the context.
You know those
But-
skirts in Japan are actually like they come down to your knee, and then girls will like take them and wrap them at the top around their waist. And that's how you get like girls wearing short skirts in Japan.
Oh.
Like those skirts are actually really long. Those like school shirts, they come down below the knee, but girls will take that shit and then fold them up top, just like
Yeah.
repeatedly, and
Makes
then
sense.
make them like really short.
okay.
And that's like why girls have like like in fucking anime, you see like fucking schoolgirls wearing like short skirts to fucking school, but it's because they're a fucking whore. And they woke up that morning, they put their fucking skirt on, they folded it a million times, like, I'm gonna show off my fucking ass.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, see?
Different teachers, different schools will enforce it differently.
I can't tell anything about history, but I can tell you about the skirts of schoolgirls.
Yeah,
in
he can
Japan.
tell you about Japanese schoolgirls all day long. He couldn't tell you fuck all about like who Commodore Matthew C. Perry is, but like
the guy who
you
makes
know,
the movies about the black people. He makes Medea. I know that one. Matthew
hint,
Perry.
It might have been related to what I was talking about, but sure.
Yeah,
Who's
the
a
guy-
modern major general?
I am the very model of a modern mage general.
Okay, so he knows his Pirates of Penzance. Okay.
I know show tunes, all right? I was in theater. I don't know history, but I know show tunes. I am the very model of a modern mage general.
Commodore Matthew C. Perry was the guy we sent over to Japan to say,
Open the fuck up.
Yeah, like, hey, I know you've been closed off to everyone for 200 years. Don't. And they were just like, fuck you. And we said, no, we just got done with our Civil War. Let's teach you something about how muzzled warship cannons work with the rifled barrels real quick, and we'll let you have a second answer to that question.
The only thing I know about that is from Samurai Champloo.
Yeah,
there was a whole bit about it in Samurai Champloo. That's all I know about it.
You don't know anything else about it? Anything at all?
No.
That's when we smuggled opium into China.
I was gonna say,
why did we have opium?
Rurouni Kenshin kind of like touches on that like era.
Technically, it was the British.
Okay.
We had a hand in it.
Okay, that makes sense. Rurouni Kenshin, I watched like 5 episodes of. Said I realized that I liked this as a child, and now rewatching it is very embarrassing, and I can't do it.
Who was your favorite general during the War of the Three Kingdoms?
Which 3 kingdoms?
The Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, your favorite general.
China.
Lu Bu. Is that one of them? He was in Dynasty Warriors.
What did Lu Bu do?
He had a big stick. he had a
you
big
like
spear.
people with big sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, see? He had a big naginata or something. Right? That's a naginata, I think.
No, Guan Yu had something more like a naginata. Since these guys were Chinese, none of them had a naginata.
He had the big thing that Eric has at his house.
He had
an atomic bomb.
He had a double crescent moon spear, where it has an axe-like crescent moon on either end of it.
You didn't answer me. Is Lu Bu one of them? Did I get that right? Is that technically an answer?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, Lu Bu is a general from the Three Kingdoms.
Okay, hell yeah. See?
Woo!
One point for Patrick. Patrick, play the music.
He was
All
famous
right,
for...
Fine. Who's your favorite emperor during the construction of the Great Wall of China?
Sun Tzu.
Not a good answer.
Okay. Mao.
Mao.
Not an emperor.
Okay. I think I give up. I think I'm losing that round. I pass. Next question.
It's okay. You could always say Lee. There's a million Lees.
Bruce Lee.
I honestly don't know. My one and only guess would have been Shi Wang Di.
You could guess a bunch of them. Technically, you could guess all of them. The fucking wall's still being constructed on today.
So Mao was technically a right answer. Fuck you.
Yeah,
no,
but he's not
because
an emperor.
Mao's not an emperor.
Yeah.
What about Sun Tzu?
Also, never an emperor.
Never an emperor.
Okay. Well, okay. Never mind.
Sorry,
then.
no, you were just wrong in all accounts.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I don't know anything about history. I can see it's hurting Eric.
So
when was the French Revolution? What year?
1486.
That was rough.
I'll give you a hint. Americans sent diplomats over there.
1883. It'd been after 1776.
Yeah.
That's
I got that one. I got.
There's 24 years between 1776 and the
Well,
War
I'm
of
just.
18...
I knew it was after. I knew it was after that. And I knew it was in a time frame which I knew nothing about.
I'll give you a bigger hint. People who fought in the Revolution were the diplomats.
People who fought in the Revolution were the
in the American Revolution were diplomats to the French
1790s?
Clarify by Revolution.
1790s. 1800.
No.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You're going the wrong direction.
Am I? But 1776.
It was like 1780 something.
1780s.
All of my knowledge of history, all of it. I'll just say
Something
this.
like that. They had several afterwards, so.
But it's all one big revolution. I don't think you should count every time they cut somebody's head off as a new revolution.
All of my knowledge of history
end
comes from the 1300s.
1820 something when Napoleon grape shotted the whole square.
What was his deal? I hear a lot about Napoleon, but I have no idea.
Basically, he became the head of the revolution, and in order to keep the revolution going, he said, now we're going to take the revolution to everybody else. And then he conquered all of Italy, kept causing problems for the Austrian-Hungarians.
He shot the Sphinx. That's all I know.
For the Britons.
That's a myth.
Okay, so the one thing I know about Napoleon
he
was
then
not
went
real.
to Egypt. Found
that's a
found
miss. That piece of the notes was
the,
already missing.
He found the Rosetta Stone.
Oh, I do know one thing about Napoleon. They put him on an island.
Yeah.
Yeah, they exiled him to an island.
Yes.
Yeah, they exiled.
Right.
and then he
he
came
died
back.
He died of pancreatic cancer.
Did you know
the second
that the
time, I believe.
Haitians, when they had their revolution, wanted to get Napoleon to... No, not the Haitians. I'm sorry. It was a South American revolution. I don't remember which one. But they wanted to get Napoleon to be their general. And they were up for it. He just said no.
Yeah.
He was after his second exile, after the Battle of Waterloo. He was like, nah, I'm good.
What happened at the Waterloo?
He got defeated by the British.
Yeah, he got his fudge packed in.
That was when he
good.
came back.
Oh, I do know another thing about him. I know that he wrote letters to his wife that were really naughty about asking her to not wash.
He asked her to send him used panties.
Yes, yeah. I know that much. I know
he
that
was
much.
the original Japanese pervert.
Yes.
Napoleon would buy him out of the
France.
vending machine.
I know weird sexual Snapple facts. That's my knowledge of history. I can tell you that much.
Was it like Catherine the Great and the horse?
Do you think that Julius Caesar got fucked by that king? Who was that king? Who was Julius Caesar? What was Julius Caesar the queen of?
Julius Caesar the queen of?
It was a very famous joke during the time.
Okay.
Yeah, that like historically we know that it was a famous jab.
It was a famous jab that he was the queen of some other country.
Of some city
oh,
state.
hell yeah, dude! That's fucking rules.
Because when Julius Caesar was younger and like more twinkish,
yeah, he was hot. I know he was hot.
Yeah, he was sent as a diplomat to this king, and this king famously, after Julius Caesar came back, just is super helpful to Rome. Like had a lot of good relations with Rome afterwards.
My man was the Nancy Reagan of his time.
And so the joke was Julius Caesar became the queen of whatever that city-state was.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I do not remember the name of it. Fuck.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you any other nation state during the time. I know Rome was a big empire.
Thinking like Rome, Gaul, Sparta, Athens.
Those are Greek, though, right?
Macedon. Well, yeah, it wasn't Roman.
No, the Gauls are like the Gauls. I mean, they're the Gauls.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't sent to a different Roman king, was he?
No, the Gauls are a group of people. They all each had individual city states.
I'm saying what group was he sent to? Is what we're saying. Like, you know, who was the other king? Because I'm trying to think. Like, would it have been like one of the Hellenistic nations to the fucking east?
Wait, wouldn't Hellenistic be Greek though? Like,
yes.
Once Rome shows up, don't all that stuff?
Caesar,
all that
queen of Nicomedes.
Necomundi.
Yeah, Nicomedes.
Nicomedes.
Yeah, it was the King Nicomedes in Bithynia.
Bithynia.
Yeah, Bithynia.
There you go.
Yeah, my best guess is going to be Queen Nicomedes.
Yeah. So that was the king that was doing him in.
Hell yeah, dude.
Or at least that's
turning
what the
his
propaganda
guts
says.
inside out.
Hell yeah. Same way that the English did to Napoleon.
Yeah.
At Waterloo.
Making him poop in one push every time.
Yeah. So Caesar was the queen of Bithynia.
I learned that today. I learned that Napoleon lost the fight at Waterloo.
You know why that was a joke, though?
Why?
It wasn't the fact that like he was being gay. It was the fact that in Rome at the time, as long as you were the pitcher and not the catcher, that was okay.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, that was seen as more masculine.
So like the fact that he was catching it from the king.
Yeah. Mostly the people who were catching were little boys at the time.
Yeah. Or which was Greek, basically.
Yeah, it was basically the idea was
Greek twink.
Yeah, which wasn't like one that. Hey, here's another one. Here's a sexual one that you'll know.
Yes.
Which which Roman emperor was famous for his Greek twink who drowned in the Nile River?
Alexander the Great?
Not a Roman emperor.
Not a Roman emperor. But try again.
Macedonian.
Any Roman emperor comes to mind. Ooh, close. Actually, not that far.
What's another Roman emperor?
Was it
Julius Caesar, Caligula?
Julius Caesar was not an emperor.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of Roman emperors. Constantine?
No, unfortunately not Constantine. Wrong direction.
Yeah, think closer to
he built a big wall.
Oh,
Mao. General Mao.
Oh, I know who it is now.
Uh,
I got you. It stretches across the border between England and Scotland
Yeah.
to keep the Picts out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very famous.
mm-hmm. I think I'm out of Roman emperors. I know.
All right, you want me to tell you?
Sure. Yeah, I give up.
Hadrian.
I would have never. I've never even heard
Hadrian's
that name.
Wall. There's like a
Very-
Great Wall of China literally spanning from coast to coast in England that blocks off the northern barbarians that are the Scots. It was made by the Romans, and once that shit broke
Hadrian
down,
just couldn't be bothered, honestly.
yeah, he could not be bothered with the Picts, and like he was just like, these people are fucking hairy barbarian people.
They're ugly.
They're ugly. The only thing redeeming about them is that they wear skirts instead of pants like the rest of these barbarians.
You know, we had to
And-
fight a lot of naked Gauls. Thank God these people just wear pants.
Who are the Gauls? I keep hearing about the Gauls. You
It's
guys
just
keep
the
talking about the
Gauls.
Gauls.
Like, well,
the
they're like
Gauls are just like
they're just
the
a
French,
mixture of
German
like
people.
French, German, Scandinavian-esque
Western-
people.
Western Central Europe.
Like the Gauls
Okay.
don't. The problem is like we
Like-
can't explain it any further because the Gauls don't exist anymore.
yeah, they
Yeah,
were just
like-
they were just whatever was before France and
Yeah.
and
Like,
England.
They
General
were just the before Europe.
Celtic like ideas and stuff like kind of floats through that whole area all the way up to like, you know, Ireland,
Like, you gotta-
Scotland, England, and all the way down to like northern Italy, and that was all kind of like the same kind of people. It was all different city-states and kings and stuff,
I
but
know
they
how
had
to-
the same language groups.
I know a
and,
touchstone
like,
for 'em.
religious beliefs there.
I know a touchstone for them. You know how people refer to the Native Americans as a conglomerate thing, but they're
Yeah.
individual tribes that
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can go into. That's the Gauls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they were just the fucking barbarians, basically.
All
Yeah.
the fucking
Just savages.
barbarians that lived in the northwest
and
of
the
Rome
unfortunate thing is we don't have. Like, I'm sure we have more now.
and northeast
I
were
don't-
the Germans.
I've never studied the Gauls, so I don't know a lot about their history, and I don't even know if we have a lot of their history.
Is that where gallstones come from?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, it comes from your gallbladder, right?
Correct.
Is it called a
Gall?
gallbladder because of the Gauls?
No,
Yeah, the
Gauls
Gauls
is
would kick you in the
G-A-U-L.
gallbladder famously.
Gall is spelled G-A-U-L.
You're so
You're
bad.
thinking of
You're so bad at
G-A-L-L.
fucking. You're so bad at gaslighting. You could have made me believe that if you had said that more realistically. if you had legitimately just been like, yeah, actually, yes, and then like played into me being like, oh yeah,
Gallstones. It comes from the ancient Romans because the Gauls used to throw stones at them, and they said they thought that they would be cursed. And they
if
said
you
they would
fucking
find
told
the
me that,
stones inside
if you had
them.
legitimately
And
told
that's
me that,
the-
I would have
that's a
believed you.
gallstone.
I would
Yeah.
have believed you.
Do you want to hear a pretty famous Julius Caesar battle?
Not really, but go
So
ahead.
check this out.
Okay.
One time he was sieging a Gaul tribe, and the brother of this, like the chief of this tribe, was on the way with like, I don't know, 100,000 Gauls, some ridiculous number. And so Caesar built a wall, to defend against them. And so the tribe that he was sieging was like coming out to fight him, while the other one was meeting the wall. So he just built another wall between him and that other tribe.
He basically built his own double-walled fortress around their city.
Yeah.
So he
And
had
so, like, the
walls
most
and
Roman
towers.
shit I've ever heard.
He was
Yes.
sieging the one chief while being sieged by that chief's brother, and he won both.
That's such a
Yeah.
thing that like only the Romans or the Americans could get away with. You can only do
No,
that if like your economy's
That's
great.
something Julius Caesar
Yeah.
could get away with.
That is a Julius
Other
Caesar.
people would take much better odds, like Crassus, and be stomped into the dirt by fucking Parthians
You know Crassus
because they
got
could turn around and shoot their bows behind them when they were on horseback.
Crassus got the golden crown treatment.
Yes,
famously-
he did.
Famously, Crassus
He's one of the few people who was
so-
important enough to get that punishment.
for people who are like Patrick, who are just stupid.
Yeah. Please
Eric-
tell me what the fuck are you
Stupid.
talking about?
Arrogant, think
Yeah.
that the whole world belongs to them.
So
Just
you'll
knows
like
all their history
you'll
from
like
anime.
You'll like Crassus. He is a blue-blooded Roman guy who was the richest Roman to ever live.
Yeah.
He
he bought
created
all of his power.
he created a fire brigades and would set fires to people's houses and then rock up and be like, that'd be $300 to put the fire out, man.
Mm.
like, Man,
So
sure be good if you voted green
When
in
Julius
this next
Caesar
election.
was assassinated, he got to be one of the elected consuls when they were still trying to piece everything back together. He then
No, I think that this actually happened before
Did this happen
Caesar's
before?
assassination. Yes,
oh
this was all happening before that. This was when they were consolidating that power because
Okay.
the original
well, anyways, the
triumvirate.
triumvirate failed, and
What's the triumvirate?
The triumvirate is
There's-
Crassus, Pompey, and Caesar.
they were just consolidating power between the three of them.
Okay, so they were just like some really strong politicians.
They were the
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
bigwigs in Rome at the time, and they kind of had a non-aggression pact between the three of
Yeah,
them.
they were like, we're not gonna.
That's
we're
what
not
the
gonna get
fucking
in each
Morrowind
other's
thing's
way.
based off of.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, so Crassus decided that that he was just going to take a few legions and go and get some flags back from the Persians,
Wait, which one were we
the
talking
Parthians.
about now? Yeah, Parthians, which would later be Persians.
Okay.
Crassus was going to go over there and
So
take a shit ton of land from.
Crassus thought
The Persian
himself a
people.
good general and he thought himself a good leader, but he was very Draconian.
Draconian.
Yeah, Draconian.
Okay.
And a lot of the legionnaires at the time didn't like that because they were a lot more used to laxer generals, I guess. Like
more like Caesar, where they're like your buddy,
yeah, or like Pompey the Great.
who was like
Your
everybody's
buddy.
friend.
Yeah.
Is he the one that the volcano's named after?
No,
I don't know.
Okay.
no, that's just a city with a similar name. That's Pompeii. That's the guy named Pompey.
Okay.
Pompey was so good that he got rid of all of piracy within, I think, 3 months or something like that.
He was. These three folks were pretty good at their jobs, but
Except-
one of them paid his way the whole way there.
One of them
and
was good
wasn't
at making
really very
money.
Talented.
Okay.
Oh, 2 of them were good generals. One was good at making money, and then he decided to play general.
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, he went to go get these flags back. Flags in the Roman time, these particular ones were legionnaire flags, and they were very important. And if they got captured, it was seen as a great, great shame to that legion. And the Parthians had taken these flags.
Okay.
This is after he decides to try and invade all of Persia for personal glory so that he can come back and gain more political power. But he's not having the same luck
he
as the two
completely
incredibly
fails.
talented generals.
He doesn't think about his logistics.
Mhm.
The Parthians completely outflank him and take apart his army. His complete army routes. He gets captured. No one in Rome even comes to negotiate for his release.
No one actually liked him, and they all owed him money.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So-
how he kept calling in favors.
Yeah. The easiest way to get your ass fucking stuck somewhere, make
So,
everyone hate you so no one comes to get you.
Eventually, proving to be a useless political prisoner, the Parthian emperor at the time got bored and was like, "So what did you want, anyways?" And Crassus was like, "Oh, I wanted to be I don't know if he ever said an emperor of Rome or whatever, but a ruler of Rome, or he said
I
something
wanted to be
to
a rich, ruler of the
he
East.
made the effect of I want to be a rich, powerful person, right?
I want to see the flow of gold from the East.
Something
Okay.
like that.
That good shit you guys got going
and
on.
the Parthian emperor was like, "No problem, I got you, fam. I'm going to give you a golden crown." So he had him held down, had gold melted down into molten, gold, and had it poured on top of his head.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, they did hold his mouth open too.
And so how did Julius Caesar and Pompey react?
They
Were they
didn't-
just
They did
happy?
not.
They at the time their relationship was failing horribly. And,
Yeah, I would imagine. He sounds
and
like a dick.
Caesar was trying to not go to jail, so
Okay.
they probably weren't worried about it.
Yeah, they were just like, I heard he got gold poured on his head and he's dead. And they were like, oh, thank God, one less thing to worry
Pretty
about.
much.
Ironically, the funny thing about that is Pompey and Caesar would then later go into a civil war with each other.
Out of any of them, though, I bet Caesar was probably actually sad. And the only reason I say that,
Yeah, because what happened was Pompey lost the civil war and tried to flee to Ptolemaic Egypt. And that's the guys that Cleopatra comes from. So Cleopatra's brother, King Ptolemy in Egypt, was just like, yeah, Pompey, you can totally come down here and hang out with us. Political asylum, all that. All right, guys. And then he came in, they cut his fucking head off. They cut his head off. And then when
and they
Caesar
put him in a
showed up,
box.
yeah, when Caesar showed up, they presented him a little present.
How do you like it?
No.
No, it was
I didn't
Pompey's
think so.
head, and he famously after that killed all of them.
Oh, okay.
He was not a big fan. No, he
And
was,
so, like, I think out of it,
it might have been why he
Caesar
ended up,
may have been a little sad, just because I think Caesar may actually at least gave enough of a shit about people, because he was a populist. He like if he knew you, I think he did care about you.
Yeah.
He would have rather been Pompey's ruler.
So he might have been like, "Oh, Crassus got a fucking molten gold poured all over his face."
And Pompey got his fucking head cut off. Now I'm
That's
the only
sad.
one left. He feels like he's like the out of the three bros.
Yeah, he's like the big boss.
yeah.
Yeah, he never had a good relationship with the Ptolemaic kings again. That's why he was so famously had that relationship with Cleopatra, because he was trying to get a usurper going on.
All this
over
is just
there.
making me think about Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which Eric famously called
You should,
gay when we talked about it last time. And I'm
Sounds
like,
gay.
the more and the more I like, I think I hear about history, and the more Eric talks about history, the more I'm like, Eric would love that show.
You should have like you should put on a YouTube of like the triumvirate and because the story of Julius Caesar and him trying to dodge the Roman Senate, trying to put him in jail and execute him is fucking great.
Oh yeah, because he was breaking the rules
I
constantly.
mean, you guys say that, but every single time I've ever tried to learn anything about history, I get like 5 minutes into it, I go, "This is gay," and then I'd like decide that I'd rather learn how to like play another instrument or something.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned with like my own physical abilities.
Or watching fake history like
Yeah.
Will,
Yeah.
Will, I don't think there's anything we can do. He's got gay brain. All he wants to do
I'm just
is
saying, like,
gallivant about, play his little flutes and his little guitars.
all you gotta do is just look up
and,
like a
you know,
podcast of like
suck
the
penis.
story of Julius, like a biography of Julius Caesar, and then like it's legitimately interesting.
You know
For
how
sure,
you
for sure.
every time you describe to me what ADD is like,
Yeah.
the only thing I can think in my head is I know what that's like. That's me listening to history. That's me learning history. History was my least favorite subject in school. I fucking hated it. I never listened to shit. I in college I had one history teacher who ruled, and I listened to everything he ever said. But he only ever talked about like the parts of history that were like fucking metal. And then other than that, I don't fucking care about history. I fucking hate history, dude. I really do. I don't like history has tons of metal cool shit that happened in it, but in between every metal cool shit that happened, there's a 60-minute diatribe about why it happened. And I don't give a shit why it happened. I just want to hear about the dude that got the fucking gold poured on his head.
let me tell you, everything about Julius Caesar, like up to when he was assassinated, is fucking interesting.
I hope so.
No,
Because
seriously, like from like when he was a young guy, he got kidnapped by pirates, jokingly told them he was going to crucify all of them. And then later on, just like was singing songs with them, fucking having races, like foot races with them. Got like convinced them not only to like up his like hostage price, paid them that hostage price, then came back with a full legion and had them all crucified.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because he told him he'd
He
do
said
it.
he was going to.
That's fucking gay. Why did he do that? He basically made friends and then he crucified them all.
Yeah, because he's a man of his word.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bitch to me. He could have
Don't
he could have had
kidnap
friends.
Julius Caesar.
Don't
Yeah,
kidnap
but he could have
Julius
had
Caesar.
had friends. He could have made them into soldiers. He could have made them into corsairs.
Here's a fun thing from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era that we were talking about earlier. This is fun. I'll skip straight through all the fat.
Okay.
Straight to the fat. So there was a super asshole who ironically was Lubu's lord.
Lubu was a cunt. That's all I know.
Lubu was a
Like,
cunt.
famously
but
was a cunt.
His lord was the most famous cunt. His
Okay.
name was Dong Zhuo. And while there was some absolute
I
nonsense
can
going
never
on,
keep Chinese names in my head.
while there was some absolute nonsense going on at the
His
capital,
name's Dong Zhuo, dude. His
because-
first name's Poop.
everybody was like fighting and shit. Like Dong Zhuo just like found like the child emperor like sitting out there and was just like, oh, cool. I guess I'm gonna usurp everything for a minute. But he was like ultra mega super tyrant, and everybody hated him. So Lu Bu killed him.
Okay.
And here's the thing, motherfucker was so fat that it is said that they put a wick in his belly button and it burned for like a week. That is a real story.
A24's Chinese the whale.
Like, that is literally a story from, almost 2,000 years ago, or a little more than 2,000. Was that early BCs or early ADs? I forget.
Patrick, put up a picture of
China
that one
breaks so
frame
many
of the rail, but of the whale, but make him Chinese.
The Chinese
put Dong Zhuo's face on him. Trust me.
China breaks so much it's impossible to keep up with.
Like, yeah, I love that history of the world thing. It's like, China was whole again, then it was broke again. It just shatters and reunites and shatters and reunites.
The last 80 years or whatever, China legit had a problem of just fucking throughout history being whole breaking.
I do know that much.
That makes
I don't know
sense.
anything about the history, but I know that
it's a lot of people over there.
Sure.
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm not
most
saying
of
it
it's
doesn't have a
inhabitable.
reason. I'm just saying that it is notable.
No, most of it's inhabitable too. Like unlike Russia, so there's like no reason for like something giant landmass like Russia to break apart. Most of China is like actually inhabitable and it's huge, so people just constantly fight over it.
And China's like an amalgamation of like 4 or 5 different like tribes from like yesteryear.
Yeah, the United States is going to go that way. I swear to God, that's going to be how the United States works. Going forward, it's just going to break apart, form back up, break apart, form back up. It's huge. Way too big to like keep stable.
God, I feel like that'll be our downfall, is the constant shattering and reconstructing and stuff.
Yeah, until we get some dude like fucking Mao that everybody fucking loves and adores, and then he kills all the birds, and then everybody
you,
fucking...
dude.
And then the birds will all...
Hell yeah, dude. I'll be like, kill all them fucking birds.
All the birds have already been replaced with cameras anyway, man. That's why they had to replace all the batteries during COVID, man.
Well, thank you guys for teaching me about history.
You're very welcome.
I'm sorry I don't like history or know anything about history.
Hey,
well, we know you're retarded, so it's okay. We want to help.
We are about to end. Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
Would you get probed? Like
by aliens?
Yeah,
my bro.
If an alien
have you not listened to his backstory? He's gotten probed for fun many times.
I was gonna say.
No, like if an alien came up to you and was like, I want to probe you, and it was like, but it's painful.
It's painful?
Yeah, it's painful.
Are they putting something in my ass? Is that what we're implying?
For sure.
How painful.
He's like, well, it's always a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. My first thought was like, well, it's going to hurt a little bit regardless. I mean, like, they're like,
how much more painful?
What is the?
How do you describe?
What do I get out of it? Like, what is he offering? He's like, I will probe you, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, and he's like, it will hurt, and I'm like, okay,
it's exposure.
Are you just letting me know?
Exposure. Are you paying me? I'm paying you an exposure. Well, how much will it hurt? He goes,
just the tip.
A little bit. Just a little. I mean, like, if he says, like, just a little, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's kind of like getting a shot, you know? I mean, like Eric said, it always hurts a little bit. I mean, like...
It's like, well, the last man sprayed white stuff all over the place as soon as I got it done and would not stop screaming the entire time. I am surprised he did not die of a heart attack.
What did you pay him?
Nothing. He just said thank you and took a nap.
Shook my hand.
Shook my hand.
What if you're like,
thank you, thank God.
What if he tried to give you like $100 bill and like, this is what he gave me?
This has been the AnythingCast. I'm Patrick.
I am not getting fucked by an alien, I hope. But my name's Eric.
I'm willing. I'm about to fuck you.